Hello and welcome. There's a lot of major anniversaries happening this year within the Disney Channel bubble, and all of them are making me feel so old. How are these shows and films 20 and 25 years old now? I do have plans to discuss all of them throughout the year, but today we have to rewind back to a very important audition, basketball game, and decathlon happening. What team? Wildcats.
Any last minute sign-ups?
I'd like to audition, Miss Darbus.
I'll sing with her.
Troy Bolton is not in my show.
You're the team leader, not a singer.
Do you ever think maybe I could be both?
We're breaking free.
High School Musical, coming in January on Disney Channel.
So I've talked about this film and franchise in the past several times, and I have such a hate/like relationship with it. To this day, I still don't understand why it was as successful as it was. In my opinions, the songs aren't that amazing. The only ones I really like are Breaking Free and We're All in This Together, although I will occasionally listen to the rest if they come up on a Disney playlist. To me, it was always just this mediocre film that was filled with so many plot holes and unrealistic stereotypes of high school, and yet it's become such a massive legend in the Disney Channel catalog that it's hard to ignore. Between the abundance of merchandise in the past, stationery, pins, clothing, party supplies, Christmas ornaments, etc., it was everywhere. And now, 20 years later, it's back again. Not to the same extent of Wicket Mania was, for example, but there's limited edition dolls again, lounge flies and other bags for sale, clothing from the official Disney store, box lunch, and Hot Topic that will get you prepared for your next pep rally from head to toe, plus limited edition Crocs and who knows what else. Love it or hate it, no one can deny that it's made a huge impact on the niche culture of the 2000s and probably changed the landscape of Disney Channel, since most of the Disney Channel original films from that time till today are musicals. Some better than others. There's a lot that could be said about this film, but I want to take a much more niche approach in celebrating the 20th anniversary, especially since I was also a teenager when this was released, and therefore remember the reality fondly. That's probably another reason why I was never a huge fan of the franchise. I was too old for it since I was in high school at the time, and never dealt with this fabricated, greased knockoff that it was. So let's head back to East High 20 years ago, and get ready to put on a musical and win a basketball game.
When class is in session, this high school is rockin'. Check out the Disney Channel original movie, High School Musical, coming up next.
A few quick facts about my relationship with the film. Obviously, as I just stated, I was in high school at the time this released. I was a freshman and a self-proclaimed emo kid, so I didn't have too many pictures or videos of myself back in the day to compare how I dressed compared to the film wardrobe. However, I can confidently say this might be some of the most realistic outfits, minus the hats and whatever Sharpay is wearing half the time. But when it comes to the background extras and even just the guys' outfits, it's pretty spot on. When I was a senior in high school, the school play that year ended up being High School Musical. And since I'm also a theater kid, I ended up being a part of that production and was gifted the DVD, which I still have to this day. Now, a related but unrelated fact, my choir teacher hated me for some reason, so I was never chosen to be in the musicals, even though I auditioned for every single one. And unlike this film, my high school was very competitive when it came to the talents within the arts, and I was basically competing against kids who were basically training for Broadway. I know my best friend told me recently that one of the younger classmates, a few years after we graduated, ended up as a dancer on Broadway, and I also know an old classmate of mine has done background vocals for the band Lawrence. A fun connection, that was a band that performed majority of the songs of the Noel film that aired on Disney Plus in 2019. So between the insane talent that was in my public high school and a lot of favoritism, I didn't get many opportunities to be in the plays, and therefore finally made it when I was a senior and ended up being part of the chorus. Since there weren't too many guys doing theater, something a bit more realistic this movie did get correct. My best friend did the plays every year, including this one. And the classmate I previously just mentioned who has sung with Lawrence was our Troy Bolton. So again, even though I have a hate-like relationship with this film, I will always be an honorary Wildcat. I don't think I ever watched this. I know I haven't watched this since I did the show, but I'm cringing yet laughing so hard. This was when I wasn't into Disney like I am now. And because I was 17, instead I was into all the edgy MTV shows like Daria and Viva La Bam. Because I got to be one of the skater kids that was also in the drama club scenes, I incorporated pieces of both into my outfits. I hate feeling old, but this was a hat that I had on. It's my Viva La Bam hat, so this was me on stage 20 years ago. Well, not quite, because that was 2010. So almost 20 years ago. Like I said, this is when I tried to be edgy because I couldn't stand High School Musical in high school. And I am trying to appreciate it now, but I still don't get it. I still love the fact that my best friend chose the worm as his animal to act as during the scene, and I guess I was a penguin. Even here, I was rocking my Jack Skellington beanie and Rocky Horror Picture Show shirt. Could I look any more like an emo millennial? I'm a walking stereotype. I am still really proud of how long I've been a fan of Rocky Horror. I've talked about it enough on this channel, and now it's a full circle connection since it's technically in the Disney family. I feel like this is a really good showcase to show how realistically the fashion really was though, even though this is a couple of years after the first one was released. 2010 compared to 2006. But since we all wore our own clothing for the show, this is the best piece of evidence to compare to the film. I'll give them credit where it's due, and even though the songs and plot are a bit cheesy and don't make sense, it's still somewhat grounded in other ways. And even though there was so much drama happening behind the scenes even then, everyone was so peeved that a freshman got the part of Gabriella instead of a senior, for example. And obviously, I'm personally a little bitter that I was prevented from being in better shows due to the teacher's favoritism way of casting. I was taught at a young age, it's who you know, not what you know. I will admit and agree though that we did really sound good as a cast. I wish the camera operator did a better job, but we were all in high school, so I really can't be too critical. Ironically, that was also the end of my acting career, for now. I'll also bring up again that I did make my own little music video for High School Musical 2, just to try to win any of the contests that Disney Channel was running at the time. Spoiler alert, I didn't win, but if you're interested to hear more about that, the video is linked in the description. Now, I love learning about the behind the scenes and trivia of any media production. And I was hoping to be able to watch the film again with the DVD commentary to learn more about the process of this film. Well, it doesn't exist. I take DVD commentary for granted because I assumed it would be on there, but nope, nothing. Instead, the extra DVD features include a sing-along and the 2 music videos. One for We're All in This Together, and another one for the deleted song Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. In the Backstage Disney section, there's a small featurette about the making of High School Musical, but it's only around 10 minutes long and focuses more on the choreography, the different song styles and recording of the soundtrack, a little look behind the scenes on the actual casting, and many interviews with the cast while they were filming, and a section where you can learn some of the moves from the film. The choreography was the most prominent part of this film for some reason, even though there's only like 3 songs that have a lot of choreography. I will never understand this film, although I will admit that We're All in This Together has one of the best dances.
Then we kick a b-boy pose.
Or B-girl.
Right. Okay, moving on. From your B-person pose.
And not to call out Ashley Tisdale this early, but honestly, who dressed her? Was this her or a bad stylist? Because I know it's a running joke and a bit of a controversy with the toxic Disney Channel mom drama, but there's very rare few outfits I've seen her in that I like. Not the character she's played, because Sharpay has some of the best outfits, and some of Maddie's stuff was cute, but this needs to be a future deep dive because it's consistently bad. And ironically enough, when I did my High School Musical review, I apparently trashed her. And I didn't appreciate her acting. I felt like it's very flat. Her voice isn't the greatest either, and I just couldn't get on the train of Ashley Tisdale. I'm sure she's a really sweet person, but I was always very curious of why she was such a big star on Disney Channel, because she's not the greatest performer in my opinion. There are better ones. So depending on who's telling the truth, either I was spot on with my opinion of her years ago, or if she isn't the toxic one and the rest of the group is, then I will also give grace and be open about changing my opinion. Although I hope that Queen Hilary Duff isn't the toxic one, because I still want to like her, and I'm biased because I've been told by several people that I looked like her when I was blonde. And I used to get comments, which I always appreciated, that people told me that they thought that I was Hilary Duff. So that was like the best compliment ever, and I appreciate that genuinely, and I don't want her to be the bad guy. I still agree that I don't think Ashley is the most talented person though, And in my opinion, Sharpay would never be cast on Broadway because her voice is too pop sounding compared to classically trained for theater. But all of that isn't important, and we gotta keep moving forward to focusing on the fashion. It's been one of my favorite hyperfixations to focus on clothing from various shows and films, and although I haven't begun the screen accurate clothing collecting, it was interesting to find that it's a whole sub-community already. And some of the clothes that were featured within the High School Musical franchise are for sale. And even though I really do love this jacket that Gabriella wore, it's not practical or sustainable for me right now to purchase that. Being inspired by the outfits from these various properties is something I will continue to look into. This is just the start of something new.
At East High,
It's hard to believe.
musical auditions have begun.
To believe.
Stop.
And the most unlikely person is about to steal the spotlight.
I'll sing with her.
High School Musical, coming up next on Disney Channel.
When it comes to the fashion of High School Musical 1, since it's the 20th anniversary, I'm just focusing on this initial film and not the others. It's interesting to look back and see the different styles of all these characters, even though I am focusing more on the girls. Outside of Ryan, the guys are just very basic. When Troy and Chad aren't wearing their basketball uniforms, which they're in for like half of the movie basically, Troy is in a lot of button-down shirts and jeans or basic sweaters and t-shirts, and Chad wears similar outfits but also a lot of graphic tees and flannels. Both of them are very realistic to what the guys wore in 2006. Honestly, even basketball shorts as normal pants were popular. I remember my best friend always wearing them, as well as flannels and sweaters normally. One of the only things they were missing were the polo shirts. That was also very popular during this decade. I also noticed that between Troy and Gabriella, they ended up matching each other often, wearing various shades of blue. Ryan is the most unique style-wise between the main guys, mainly with various patterned button-down shirts tucked into colored pants and a hat with every single outfit. Putting it all together, he's basically wearing the same outfit, just in different colors. And again, don't get me started on the hats. I love hats. They're a really cute accessory to an outfit, but from being conditioned in school that they were never allowed to be worn, and then working in an office or retail setting, there's not that many opportunities to wear hats in real life, especially not inside. This bugged me years ago, and it still bugs me today. I will never not be bothered by this. As for the girls, we have Gabriella, Sharpay, Taylor, and Kelsey as our main characters. Miss Darbus does have some unique outfit choices, but since she's a teacher, she wouldn't be following trends like all the high school kids would be. I also don't even know where I would find her outfits, even if I wanted to style one inspired by hers. I will also mention that because this is a Disney Channel film, the fashion is very preppy and colorful by proxy. Yes, the preppy style was insanely popular at the time, but even when they reference the emo or goth kids, it's shown as weird and unlikable. Even though the guy is wearing something insanely similar to Ryan, and Ryan isn't told to get therapy, everyone looks like they just stepped out of 17 magazine or just came from the mall after shopping at Aeropostale, Hollister, American Eagle, or even Kohl's. All the fashion blends in, being very basic and grounded. And yes, it was very realistic to what most kids wore at the time, myself included. When I grew up, there was always a big difference between what we wore compared to the fashion on TV and film, which is part of why I'm nostalgic for the media outfits. Because there were so many things that were adorable that I would love to wear, but haven't been able to find out in the wild yet. So with all that out of the way, let's break down the fashion of the female leads, starting with the new girl at the time, Gabriella. Gabriella's fashion is very stereotypical of the preppy girl in 2006. The very first second she's introduced in the film, she's in a purple velour tracksuit with a pink lace cami underneath and matching purple Ugg boots. She's only in this outfit for 10 seconds during the entire film, but we see a similar outfit much later in light blue. These tracksuits were everywhere in media during this time. From the beginning of the film to the end, Gabriella is seen in 12 different outfits overall. Her main color palette is mostly shades of light blue and green, although there are a few outfits where she has pink or orange. Most of the clothes are pastel colors, and although her first school outfit features her wearing a skirt, an outfit I would love to wear, but like I mentioned before, the jacket is selling for $200 currently, so this would be something I would look out for on my own in the future, thrifting something similar. The rest of the time we see her, it's in various pants and similar basic plain tops. From what we're shown, her style relies more on comfort and practical wear. She does dress up her outfits with some jewelry. Even when she has her tracksuits on, she's wearing a bold necklace, and most of her outfits also feature a lace cami, which was insanely popular at the time. I know, I had a ton myself. It's also interesting that most of her outfits feature some type of delicate floral print, that even though she's around 16 years old, she comes off as much younger and naive, both because of the way her character acts, but also the clothing she wears. A lot of these outfits that she wears to school would be outfits you might find an elementary student wearing, especially the outfits she wears while singing Breaking Free. It's weird because that one I could see being worn by both a 10-year-old and a 50-year-old, so I'm not sure where it actually fits. But that specific outfit doesn't seem like it'd be a first choice for a 16-year-old to pick out, especially when you compare it to their outfits they wore for the concert and any additional promo they did for the film. But we'll get to that later. And I know this is just my opinion. The other consistent piece she has wardrobe-wise is her shoes. She only has one pair of kitten Mary Jane heels that she wears with every single outfit after she arrives at East High. I adore these shoes. I've always loved the Mary Jane style and genuinely had a pair of heels similar to hers for the longest time from high school, but they were brown and a little taller, and I got rid of them finally last year because they were falling apart, but I would love to find another pair similar again. Ironically, her style does have a lot of similarities to the clothing of the 1930s to the 50s, but modernized and fit for a kid to wear. Again, I wouldn't want to wear every outfit of hers, but there's some cute elements to each one. The tracksuits were specifically modern loungewear, but everything else has that floral, delicate pastel look to it. This could be me overthinking it, but since this film was always compared to Grease, I do wonder if some of the clothing was inspired by Sandy. Obviously, that film took place in the 50s, but Gabriella does match that sweet, naive, good girl archetype who's trying to find a different version of herself thanks to a guy she likes. It would make sense if her fashion was inspired, but in a modern way. Hello, good morning. Welcome to my bathroom. It's time to get ready to rewind 20 years ago to 2006. Now, like I mentioned before, in 2006, I was 14 years old and therefore a freshman in high school, and I genuinely do not remember what my makeup routine was. I know it's very basic. I know we didn't have any designer makeup like today. 2016's calling with that, but I just remember I used a lot of the Maybelline, the pink mascara. Early on, I learned my makeup look to be very basic. I followed a lot of the trends that were not popular during the time. I ended up following 1950s and 40s makeup to do the pinup look, which is still one of my standard makeup looks today. And originally I was going to do every day as I'm getting dressed like the characters. I figured let's show the makeup. But after researching everything, and just my research is literally just studying the visuals, I feel like their makeup is very similar to each other, and I don't want to be too tedious. So I'm just going to start off with Vanessa today. We're doing Gabriella's look today, and for the rest of the girls, it's basically very similar. I mean, Sharpay is a little different where she has a lot more sparkle, but most of them have that lip gloss or lip tint and a good rosy blush. And again, I'm just staring at the movie, trying to figure this out. I am not a makeup artist. I only have one look basically, and it's not the same look as when I was in high school. But let's get ready. Once again, I'm not doing this to be completely accurate because I don't even remember what I did 20 years ago, which is insane that I've been doing makeup for that long. I'm gonna start off with my normal base, even though I know it's not accurate. I do foundation and powder. I feel like it's still a good base. Obviously, it's pretty known that back in 2006, beauty blenders really weren't a thing. We did have foundation, but you would just slowly put it on with your hands. And a lot of times it was darker than your skin tone. I'm trying to figure out what palette to use. And I didn't also know that I didn't have palettes back in the day. This was not a thing. It was like just the one eyeshadow or like two in a pack. CoverGirl, Maybelline, like everything was from the drugstore that you got. There was no designer makeup, like I said. At least I wasn't using designer makeup in high school. I feel like these are good colors. So I have the little Ulta Disney. There we go. We're bringing Disney into this even more with my little Epcot palette I got. None of this is sponsored that I'm showing, of course. We know this. But I feel like the colors are very Y2K aesthetic, especially during the time. From what I could tell, it was very natural looking. Most of them had either white or a light blue, in Gabriella's case, or a light pink, bronze. It kind of varies, but everything was a lot more natural, and having minimal makeup, even though you put makeup on, it was really popular to look like you weren't wearing makeup at all. I feel like I'm gonna do a World Showcase and blend it with these down here, the World Celebration, Soarin' Stardust. I'll figure out what I want to use. I already know this is not accurate at all. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't remember. I just do the base and then yeah, we're just continuing on with mascara, blush, and lip gloss. It was very important. Makeup was still really big in 2006, don't get me wrong, but there was a big difference from doing it in high school or middle school compared to them doing it professionally. Professionally, they used a lot of the fake lashes to make things a lot more voluptuous. They were still advertising that too with mascara, but there was a lot of differences compared to in 2016, where everything was available on YouTube to look at for makeup tutorials, and everyone was basically copying off of Kylie Jenner's look. No one was contouring that I knew in 2006. Next is blush, and I have to say I have High School Musical branded blush, Freaky Genius Girl, so I do have blush specifically for Gabriella. So it is, I got this on sale from ColourPop because I just was like, I know I need blush eventually. Otherwise, I have no attachment to this, but I am on brand. I have stuff. So we have the East High School. We're going to put this on. And the last important thing is the lip gloss. A lot of people had either a lip tint, like I said, or a lip gloss back in the day. We really didn't wear lipstick as much, even though I now own mainly only lipstick or chapstick. And even then, I didn't really wear lipstick. I wore chapstick, or when I was getting obsessed and going down the rabbit hole of 1940s fashion and pinup culture, I looked for red lipstick specifically. So I do have a lip gloss here that I got with the Haunted Mansion ColourPop that I reviewed a while ago. So I'm going to shamelessly plug that. Link in the description below. I haven't used this since then because I really don't do lip gloss, but it was part of the fashion. And I don't think this has that much of a color, but it'll work for what we're trying to achieve. Part one's done, makeup is done. Now it's time to get dressed. When it came to picking out which outfits I wanted to wear for each character, first of all, you have a lot of limitations when you're trying to go authentically. And like I said, there are some screen accurate options available for a lot of money that I'm not spending right now, especially for a film that I kind of hate sometimes. It's a like-hate situation, like I mentioned. But I really did like Gabriella's first day of school outfit. I loved the pretty skirt. I wouldn't get that specific one, but like the military jacket is adorable. I like the cami, like it's very, very femme and pretty and dainty. And I'm all about that. But instead, this is a little bit of a cheat. However, I feel like it's more authentic. I ended up finding this Juicy Couture pastel blue tracksuit. So it's not 100% accurate because there is the Juicy emblems on the jacket as well as the pants, but it's very subtle. So this will work perfectly. And I found it for sale on Poshmark. So it's a really great buy and a really great find while still being sustainable because we're secondhand shopping here. I don't have a necklace close to hers, but I'm going to see what I have. And this will be today's look. I don't have any more lace camis, but as I open my super stuffed drawer, I can grab a plain white cami. It's not laced, but it'll work. Here's the outfit. Again, nothing is going to be 100% accurate. I don't have any necklaces like hers, so I have my little crystal one instead. That is a choker, which is also really Y2K, so it works in a different reason. And my hair is so flat that it's not going to give the same effect of hers is very wavy, curly. Her hair is beautiful. I wish I had hair like Vanessa Hudgens back then because that is gorgeous. And obviously too, I'm like, these girls were so skinny that it's going to look a lot different on them than me. But I will say that It is very comfortable. The velour jumpsuit is so soft. It's very pajama-like material. So this would be very, very comfortable to hang out in. I got this one specifically because I figured this would be a good gym outfit to go out in, and I would use this on a normal basis. And yes, definitely, I need a different cami, of course, to really put the look fully together. But the idea is there. I think it's still executed enough. I need to go sit on my bed to do the full comparison. So overall, I really do like this outfit. I always loved the tracksuits back in the day. I was weird. I wanted to be an emo kid so bad. I wasn't emo kid. I wanted to be gothic so bad. I was gothic. But there was a whole other side to me that loved McBling fashion. I was obsessed with the Girls Next Door on E, which is like the most non-Disney thing ever. But technically Holly Madison is a Disney obsessed person as well and goes to Club 33. So technically it's all connected. Disney owns so much that I could connect so much of it. But I really do like this outfit. To really be truly accurate to the 2000s fashion, I should be losing like 50 pounds to be as skinny as they were. That's not healthy because back then everyone wanted to be a size 0. And if you were a size 4, you were fat. That's how society was. And people forget that. But it's really reflective into the media when you look into it. We're going to focus on positive things though, even though it is still important to understand and reflect on the reality of the times and not look at everything in rose-colored glasses. But this should be a fun outfit to wear today. And the next girl we're going to take a look at is Sharpay. Moving on to Sharpay, she has about 9 outfits, not counting her bop to the top costume. Sharpay is a diva. Sharpay knows she's a star and therefore she dresses to be glamorous. Every single outfit of hers is bedazzled, sequined, or just straight up sparkly. I learned that for a lot of her outfits, they added the bedazzles by hand to make it custom. Her main color palette is various shades of pink, although she does wear a good amount of white and silver as well. And there's an outfit or two where there's a pop of orange or coral. She wears a good mixture of skirts and blazers with a lot of tank tops or camis paired with her outfits. It's a running joke that we were all dressing in business casual attire in high school back then, and yes, both Sharpay and Taylor, who we will talk about, match that style well. Although again, Sharpay glammed everything up, so the super bedazzled accents made it less office appropriate. But she doesn't need to work in an office. She's a star! One of her screen accurate blazers is also for sale for $300, as well as her purple tank top, which I do love, but not for $100. She does embody the McBling fashion that was very popular at the time, even though the term wasn't coined until years later. Ironically, Sharpay most likely would have been inspired by the real-life Disney Channel icons at the time, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and although not from Disney, but the biggest icon of the McBling era, Paris Hilton. In this article, they also do include potential toxic mom group member Hilary Duff, but in my opinion, I never considered her to be a McBling icon, especially because she tried to be edgier with her fashion while she was dating Joel Madden from Good Charlotte. If anything, she was trying to be a wannabe Avril Lavigne and Ashley Simpson while still keeping her good girl image underneath for her brand. I'm sorry, Ashley, I know it's not about Hilary right now, it's about Sharpay. But as a genuine emo kid who was obsessed with Good Charlotte, Avril Lavigne, My Chemical Romance, and a ton of other emo and pop punk bands, this always bothered me too. All right, let's get ready to be like Sharpay. Hello, good morning. Welcome to another day of dressing like High School Musical characters, even though I never dressed like this style in reality back in high school. I can't really say that though, because Sharpay's style is probably the most accurate to what I would wear. Here's the closet. And again, I had to take some liberties with the fashion choices. I found this wonderful cardigan from the thrift store. It's originally from Talbot's, so it's like a really nice brand. I don't know, I think it's like $7 or something like that. Who knows? It's also not bedazzled. And as we know, Sharpay's outfits are insanely bedazzled. But this is the closest I felt like I could find to matching her outfit on a short-term notice and not spending so much money and time on them. Every Y2K staple piece, a mini skirt. Again, this is not bedazzled, but I've had this. And I'm not going to bedazzle it for 2 seconds. Although I would love a bedazzled mini skirt in the future. I understand. I do not have pink on. It is not bedazzled. Therefore, once again, this is not an accurate, screen accurate recreation. I just want to put that disclaimer out there every day I'm doing this because I have purple and I know she's all about pink and bedazzled. None of this is bedazzled. But like, again, this is the closest I could find without putting so much work into it. But I feel like still inspired, this is similarly accurate to what she had on. And this is definitely my favorite outfit of hers that she wore. Although a lot of her outfits are really, really cute. So I do hope to be able to find the correct pieces to do a full screen accurate or just enough to do an accurate cosplay of it, because this is so cute and not practical for January in the north, especially when there's still snow outside. It's been snowing a lot, ironically, this month. This would be really cute for Disney World, for example, for Florida. I adored her star earrings in the film so much. Like, they were the most adorable dangle hoops. I would love to find those earrings to wear normally. Like, I love them. But instead, I had these star dangles. So again, not the same, but same idea. And she also had this big music note necklace. I don't own any of that, ironically, even though music is so important to me. So instead, my replacement, which I know that Sharpay would probably not be a fan of the Jonas Brothers, but I do have this Jonas Brothers crest necklace that I ended up getting last year. I was a fan of the Jonas Brothers during this year, so it is accurate to me and what I enjoyed, but this was definitely my favorite outfit so far, even though I wouldn't wear this practically in the winter like they could. So practical, no, not for now. For summertime, amazing. And that's also why I invested a little bit into this, because I could see myself wearing this in the future on a normal basis, being incorporated into my wardrobe. But for now, I just put this on today to show off, but I'm going to put on something warmer for the rest of the day. But that's okay, because we have 2 more girls left, with our next one being Taylor. Taylor is full into academia, although she doesn't dress in the newer coin light and dark academia fashion. Taylor also has around 9 outfits throughout the film. It's a lot of blazers and skirts, as well as basic colored tops and khakis or brightly colored pants. It's a very basic style, but she does seem to have a subtle amount of jewelry on, and the few accessories she's incorporated into her style are skinny scarves, which were a little popular at the time, and headbands. Although her headbands were more of a cover-up, because in various interviews, the actress Monique talked about how her stylist didn't know how to style textured hair properly, so she ended up using the headbands to make herself look better. That's a much deeper rabbit hole discussion that I don't have the experience or privilege to talk about, because obviously I'm super white and could never relate nor try to relate to, because it's not my place to insert myself into. I can say, unfortunately, that during this time, a lot of people would talk about how they felt typecasted by certain roles. And from an interview that Monique did with another fellow Disney Channel star, Christy Carlson Romano, which has now been privated, but the clip still remains available from E! News, she talks about how proud she was to play this character.
I was a black girl playing the smartest girl in school, which was a very big deal at that time. And when it came to promoting the 3rd movie, I wasn't invited on the tour. Yes, this film franchise was filled with a lot of backstage drama. When it comes time to promote the 3rd and final film, only Vanessa, Zach, Ashley, and Corbin were invited on the press tour. And Lucas and I weren't included. Most of the cast were high school ages at the time, or in Monique and Lucas's case, just a little older in the early 20s. And once again, both Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hutchins have been known for getting very messy. That was the times back then. Disney Channel drama goes deep.
And of course, the cast was working on these films for 3 to 4 years, so it was legitimately a high school length of experience for them. We still have a lot more to discuss when it comes to Taylor's fashion, however, so let's get back to that. Taylor's main color palette seems to be shades of green, but also darker shades of pink and orange as well. Her style does match closer to Gabriella's, although the colors are much bolder and darker compared to Gabriella's pastel tones, and more basic overall. I would also say that her makeup is similar to Gabriella's, although a little bit more natural. She's someone who's focused on studying instead of getting glammed up, although that does seem to change in the later films. For now, let's get ready to follow in the footsteps of East High's valedictorian. Okay, so we have a disclaimer to do before we get to today's outfit. First off, with Taylor, obviously, my skin color is so far from hers. I am pale as ever, and so her color tones will not match my color tones. I know she's in a lot of greens and yellows, and they look beautiful on her. I look washed out in yellow, especially the yellow she wears, so I don't own anything of that sort. And ironically, a lot of her outfits, although very basic, are hard to find in the wild. Because again, I'm doing this a sustainable way, where I'm really not trying to buy online for items, and I did this so short notice, so I do apologize in advance, Taylor and Monique. No offense to you. Your character was gorgeous. You're gorgeous. I just don't have anything clothing-wise that would come remotely to your screen authentic outfits. And there are some stuff that I do love, but a lot of the things are really basic, and I personally wouldn't wear in the future. So instead, this is also a really big cheat. I am going to put together more of an inspired outfit of what I would wear and what she would wear, because obviously I have to go from my closet. So this is not going to be accurate at all, but I have a headband on. So I already got the first part done of the outfit choice. And listen, I really will have loved to have worn the basic outfit at the end where she has the white shirt on and the maroon pants, and I could probably find some maroon pants. I'm not trying to buy more clothes for a 2-second outfit. Again, most of the stuff I already own. Literally the only 2 things I purchased for this was the tracksuit that I will wear and the cardigan that I got from the thrift store. That's it. I haven't bought anything else. So this is all for my closet. So once again, this is not an accurate outfit. This is a truly inspired outfit for Taylor. I tried to incorporate with what I have in my closet to something that she might wear. I understand I am cheating here. I do understand this, but it's the thought that counts. So I still have the blazer. I have our little military blazer. I don't have a colorful one. I only have this one in beige. Ironically, I got this in the thrift store years ago because we love thrift shopping, okay? A lot of the clothes I have are from the thrift store. But ironically, I got this because I thought it reminded me of Hamilton, and I wanted to put together a Hamilton-inspired outfit. I have a headband. It's gray, but I feel like it matches my skirt. And I do have a skirt on, even though this is definitely something she probably wouldn't wear. This is much more dark and light academia that I mentioned. I actually wear a lot of the dark academia clothing, especially when it comes to work clothing. I love that style. It's so separate, but I do have a lot of black and gray. I would say 70% of my closet is black clothing. I don't own that many colors. Ironically, I do have more floral skirts like she did in the film, but those are my summer and spring skirts, and therefore not accessible to me at the moment because we are in the dead of winter. And I know these are excuses, but once again, it's the thought. So I tried to put together, still have some color. I have an orange t-shirt on that's plain. I got this t-shirt originally so I could cosplay Daria from MTV. As you can tell, the lore goes far. I still feel like this is a good embodiment of what she might wear in the first film. A lot more colors. I would switch out the skirt, of course, in the future, but at least I still match. My headband matches the skirt colors. It still goes together. Colors work out, and I know normally she does have hoops on, but I don't own small hoops, so I just omitted the jewelry because there is sometimes that she has jewelry on, Sometimes she doesn't. It's a mixture, but I feel like this is still a good work outfit. Very work appropriate. And this also gives the business casual vibe that we all were dressed like back in the day. I didn't dress this way then, but you get the gist. That's a wrap for Taylor for now. We still have one more with Kelsey. Finally, we get to Kelsey. One might argue that she's not a part of the main cast, but since there's only 3 main girls, and as a fellow theater kid, I feel the most bias towards her. Kelsey is very interesting because she has around 7 outfits in total, not counting her pianist outfit. Similar to Ryan, she wears a hat with every single outfit, and also seems to dress ultimately in pants. She has multiple colored denim and military style jackets, and if she's not wearing those, then she's mainly seen in multicolored striped shirts, zip-up sweaters, and the occasional flannel. Her color palette seems to also be dark, bold shades of green, orange, and purple. Her clothes are fitted but a little baggy and don't always match. The colors and patterns seem to clash with each other, and she has the most masculine style. If this film was more progressive, it would be likely that she would be a lesbian later on. But instead, they ended up pairing the 2 gay kids, her and Ryan, together to date. Her hair is also styled in different varieties of pigtails most of the time. Either chopsticks in her pigtail buns, pigtail braids, or just normal pigtails. There's only twice that we see her hair down, for a few seconds at the piano, and at the end during We're All in This Together. Her style is the most diverse from the rest of the cast, but still blends in enough with everyone, especially with the color tones. For now, it's time to get ready for rehearsal. Welcome back to my closet. Today's outfit is a little bit of a cheat outfit because the outfit that I have that mostly resembles the clothing that she has is only in the movie for like literally 5 seconds. But let me grab what I need. Here is probably the closest cardigan. It doesn't look anything like hers, but it's the right color. So we have this as a cardigan. Let me grab my flannel. Where's my flannel? Oh, here we go. The coloring is also a little bit off, but we have this flannel underneath. So hers is blue, but I have purple and blue, but they still will go in terms of color tones. Here's my stuffed drawer once again. This is also not the right color, but it's the closest. And I know hers is also not a V-neck, but again, it's the closest to what I have. Now, like I said, I am cheating a little bit because she's only shown in this outfit from the top up. It's literally a second that we see that she's in pants, just like everything else. So I am just going to guess and think she's in dark jeans. Again, most of the clothes that she's had are color jeans. I don't own those, but I have black jeans. So that's what we're going to do today because, again, I'm just going for inspired, not Serena accurate this round. So I have these jeans. They're more grayish, but these are a little bit more baggy, and they are from American Eagle. So technically, it would be a brand that a lot of these kids would have shopped at years ago, even though American Eagle today is very different from American Eagle of 2006. I think these will work along with the others. And the most important item we can't forget, the hat. Now this one I ended up getting, ironically, from my best friend. He got it in New York when they were advertising for the Newsies. So I'm not a Newsies fan, but I love Disney. He knows that. So he passed it along to me, and I've just had it for years. So I'm glad this will actually come in handy. Let's get ready for rehearsal and let's get dressed. I hate this outfit. I hate this outfit a lot. I don't like it at all. But I did this because this was the closest I had to matching her fashion. I love a good cardigan. I love a good flannel, but not in this combination. I'm feeling really, really butch right now and very masculine, and I don't like it. I love being girly. As we know, I am such a girly person and I want to dress up, not be this. And again, this is my own personal preference. I'm not wanting to offend anyone who actually likes this style. It's just not for me. But the few outfits I did like of Kelsey's would be really difficult to find in this short space to be able to celebrate the 20th anniversary. But in the future, I would love to look out for her denim jackets. I just feel like her style is very lacking in these films, and that's okay because that was her character. But I'm not going to go above and beyond to put together an outfit that I really like when I don't really like a lot of the pieces of it, just to celebrate a movie that I kind of hate, but like at the same time. Here's a closer look at it, and I know these are the only glasses that I have that would match the round glasses that she has, but I got these glasses to cosplay as Daria, and that's all I'm feeling right now. I just feel like Daria, and I don't like this at all. Like, I don't feel cute. I don't feel put together. Thankfully, today's a snow day. It's snowing outside because it is January, and I'm in the north. So I don't have anywhere to go out anyways, and that's totally fine because I'm still putting it together, but it's not an outfit I'm going to go outside in. And that's good because it's still comfortable enough, but I'm okay with it. It's also the glare in these glasses. Let me do a side by side since she's literally sitting at the piano in this outfit. I look like Kevin Smith. I look like freaking Kevin Smith right now. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to offend. This is just not my style at all. So those are all of the main females in the cast. Like I mentioned before, even though their styles are somewhat different from each other, it's still very similar in various ways. Mainly the color palettes. It's a very colorful film, and you don't see anyone really in black or gray. It's always bright or bold colors. The closest you get are with the two weird girls from the auditions. The opera singer, whose outfit I adore, and if I could find something like this, I would wear it in an instant. And the skater girl, who has a very toned down emo outfit that's one of my personal favorites. I have always wanted a pair of those strip pants, but they seem impossible to find. Plus, even though it takes place canonically in January, they are in New Mexico, so the weather is a lot warmer throughout the year compared to it being in the north, for example. No one has on any winter hats or jackets during the duration of the film, and the most interesting thing I noticed was everyone's first day of school outfits. I already mentioned the blazers were a prominent staple by the three main girls, but I was so surprised to realize that Gabriella, Sharpay, and Taylor are wearing the same exact outfit, just in different variations. How did no one notice this? But then again, most people don't pay attention to every single unique outfit in media. Because this film was so massive and a bit of a cultural reset, they went on to do a tour. A tour that I ended up going to because my cousin is 5 years younger and therefore right in the demographic to actually enjoy these films. So my aunt got tickets for my cousin and I to see it in Philly. I don't remember much about it except that we made a poster to bring to the show, and my cousin ended up feeling sick right before, so she didn't enjoy it as much as she should have. Hilariously enough, though, I found a DVD while thrifting of the concert experience, and I wanted to mention this because it's such a great contrast between their characters' outfits to the actual actors' normal wardrobe. Like I mentioned before, the outfits that they wear as themselves, not their characters promoting the film, is much more realistic to the true fashion of the decade. It's obviously not canon to their characters, but it's interesting to compare how differently or similar they were dressed. There's a featurette on the DVD hosted by Lucas that shows the behind the scenes while they're on the road, and the one thing I'll give them credit for is how hard they worked during this tour. It was basically non-stop meet and greets, traveling, and interviews before getting ready for sound check. As you can see though, their outfits are a lot more grounded and realistic to what we were all wearing. Lots of basic polos, sweatshirts, and distressed jeans for the guys, and Abercrombie/Hollister clothing, jeans, and Uggs for the girls. Their performance outfits are a lot more risque, quote-unquote, compared to their character counterparts too. Again, I do feel like most of the outfits are adorable, but Disney Channel clothing has always been a lot more modest. Although again, what is Ashley wearing? It's like a Gwen Stefani, Alice in Wonderland, Harajuku knockoff outfit. Parts of it are cute, but the execution just clashes to me. Because there's only like 5 songs from the film, there's time for Vanessa, Ashley, and Corbin to promote their own solo albums as well. Again, none of this is canon, but I just wanted to point it out because all other outfits are much more realistic to what teenagers and young adults were wearing during the time. I still don't know what Ashley was wearing. I'm really trying not to roast her. I'm just confused by her past fashion choices. My favorite outfit of hers is the animal print mini dress. It's the most subtle look of hers, ironically. Really realistic and really cute. I'd wear something similar to this today. I also give all the girls credit for performing in heels for most of the show. They probably were designed more for dancing and comfort, but trust me, being in heels is always more challenging than sneakers. The last note with this concert is obviously that this is a taste of what their normal fashion was like. There's still a lot of choices that were made to reflect the Wildcat school colors, and most of their wardrobe is red and white to reflect High School Musical as a brand. And then you have Lucas, who was a host of this concert, having like 11 different similar outfit changes for no reason.
Hats everywhere. I don't know. I don't even think you could put them all on at the same time. Ah! Maybe so. Over here, I've got all of my costume changing. I have, like I said, 11 costume changes through the 90 minutes that we're on stage.
And like I said before, we could keep going deeper into reflecting back on this franchise and this film, but I think I covered a lot already. It's really weird to know that it's been 20 years when I remember it premiering on television, but here we are. We're all getting older every day. I will admit that I would be curious to see where these characters ended up 20 years down the line. Did Sharpay make it to Broadway? Are Troy and Gabriella still together with a family of their own? Did Ryan and Kelsey respectively come out of the closet? There's so many questions to be asked. Whether you love or hate it, it's made a mark in Disney history, so happy 20th anniversary High School Musical. Thank you for joining me along this retrospective fashion journey, and as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.